Welcome everybody. Santa Anita has the Breeders' Cup coming up, the 2023 version, and we got a lot of dates with some stuff on them. The races are November 3rd and 4th, but the setup and everything else needs to happen. So let's get into that a little bit. All the races qualifying are done except for Royal Ascot, where there'll be 2 more races for 2 more horses to have a chance to come and race in the big World Championship. Okay, Monday, October 23rd, pre-entry deadline for all races, high noon Pacific time in the Santa Anita area. Tuesday the 24th, field selection panel meets from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific. On Wednesday the 25th, pre-entry fields are announced with formal race orders, which kind of is already set. That'll be live on TVG or FanDuel TV at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Maximum 14 starters are allowed in each race at the Breeders' Cup. The system ranks horses in order of preference based on if you won a win in your Breeders' Cup Challenge race, a graded stakes race point system, and a judgment of panel that are racing experts. The field selection will be implemented as necessary following taking of pre-entries on October 23rd to officially rank the oversubscribed fields, and they'll be filled by horses in order of a panel preference. The Dirt Mile, Turf Sprint, and Juvenile Turf Sprint start a maximum of 12 horses in 2023, and every race is maxed out at 14. Skip over to Monday, October 30th. Fields are finalized at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Post position draw is at 4 o'clock to 8 p.m. in the Pasadena Civic Auditorium for all 14 Breeders' Cup races. TVG or FanDuel TV will be covering that. On Tuesday, October the 31st, all Breeders' Cup horses need to be stabled at Santa Anita by 11 a.m. On Wednesday, November 1st, there's a health and safety briefing at 11 a.m. On Thursday, November 2nd, we're getting close. The call to post VIP party for all the big horse connections to have a party in the evening. And then we get to Friday, November 3rd, which is Future Stars Friday. All races will be on FanDuel TV. Races 5 through 9 are on the USA Network from 4 to 8 o'clock Eastern Time. There's an undercard of 4 races before the Cup races and an allowance in race 10 after the Juvenile Turf Cup race. First post is 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. In race 1, they'll go the Qatar Golden Mile. Race 2, the Golden State Juvenile Filly Stakes. Race 3, the Senator Ken Matty Stakes. Race 4 is the Golden State Juvenile Stakes, followed by the Breeders' Cup opening ceremony. Alright, I'm going to have a few early selections for winners. My potential selections don't include European horses, as we are not exactly sure who is going to show up or not. We'll know on Wednesday, October the 25th, when the pre-entered fields are announced. Possibly a whole nother video for that. Alright, let's do this. And it all begins at Future Stars Friday. Race 5, the Juvenile Turf Sprint. $1 million, 5 furlongs on the turf. Open to both sexes for 2-year-olds. 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Post. Potential winner is No Name Mets. He's a no-never colt out of Itole by Warfront. Been jockeyed by Paco Lopez and trained by George Weaver. No Name Mets won the Royal Palm Juvenile Stakes in Gulfstream in May. Went to Ascot and disappointed in June. In July, won the Tyro Stakes at Monmouth. And in September, won the Colonial Downs Exacta Symptoms Rosie Stakes. No name Mets. Race 6 is the Juvenile Fillies for $2 million. It's run at 1 1/16 miles on the dirt for 2-year-old fillies. Post time, 5:40 p.m. Eastern Time. Potential winner, Candied. He's a Candy Ride filly out of Tony Tools by Roaring Fever. Jocked by Louis Saez and trained by Todd Fletcher. Candied won first out at Saratoga in August and made a special weight. Then, on the 6th of October, won the Grade 1 Darley Alcibiades Stakes at Keeneland. Candied! Race 7, Juvenile Fillies Turf, $1 million. On the turf, run at a mile for 2-year-old filly babies. 6:20 Eastern Time post. Potential winner, Dreamfire. She's a flame-away filly out of Appreciating by Sky Mesa. Jockeyed by Hector Barrios and trained by OJ Yariagu. Dreamfires won all 3 races she started. Won at Pleasanton in July in the Everett Nevin, at Del Mar in August in the Sorrento, and on the 8th of October won the Surfer Girl Stakes at Santa Anita. Dreamfire! Race 8 is the FanDuel Juvenile for $2 million. Run at 1 1/16 miles on the dirt for 2-year-old colts and gelding. Post time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Potential juvenile champion is the Prince of Monaco. He's a Spacestown colt out of Rainier by Metaglia d'Oro. He's been jockeyed by Flavian Pratt, trained by Bob Baffert. Has won 2 stake races, both at Del Mar. In August, won the Best Pal. And in September, won the Run Happy Delmore Futurity, a Grade 1. Prince of Monaco! And the final Cup Series race is Race 9, the Juvenile Turf. $1 million purse, run at 1 mile on the turf for 2-year-old colts and geldings. 7:40 p.m. Eastern Time is the post. Potential Juvenile Turf champion, Endlessly. He's an Oscar Performance colt out of Dream Forever by Langfur. Been jockeyed by Juan Hernandez and trained by Michael McCarthy. Endlessly's won 3 of 3 starts. Won at Del Mar, the Juvenile Turf Stakes in September, and won the Zuma Beach Stakes on October 8th at Santa Anita. Endlessly! On to Saturday, November 4th, festivities at the Breeders' Cup. First post is 1:10 p.m. Eastern Time. There are 2 undercard races and an allowance race in race 12 after the Qatar Racing Sprint. All races except the Breeders' Cup Classic will be on FanDuel TV. The Classic will be shown on NBC, whose coverage of the Cup is from 3:30 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The USA Network will cover from 1:30 to 3:30. Race 1 is the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance Stakes. Race 2 is the Twilight Derby, followed by an opening ceremony. When we get to race 3, the Breeders' Cup starts, and we get this thing going. All right, let it rip! Saturday's Breeders' Cup races start in race 3 with the $1 million Big Ass Fans Dirt Mile. It's run at a mile on the dirt. Open for all 3-year-olds and up. Post time, 2:40 p.m. Potential winner of the Big Ass Fans Dirt Mile, Cody's Wish. He's a curlin horse out of Dance Card by Tappet, jockeyed by Junior Alvarado, trained by William Mott. 2023 won the Hillendale Met Handicap and the Vosburg Stakes, most recently on October 1st at Belmont at the Big A. Cody's Wish won this race last year. Cody's Wish! Saturday, race 4 is the Maker's Mark Filly and Mare Turf. $2 million on the turf at 1 1/4 miles. It's for 3-year-old fillies and mares and up. Post time, 3:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Potential winner in Italian. She's a Dubawi mare out of Florentina by Redoubt's Choice. Jockeyed by Joel Rosario, trained by Chad Brown. Came in second in this race last year. This year, won the Jenna Wiley Stakes and Just the Game Stakes. Came in second in the Diana Stakes at Saratoga in July. And most recently was second at the First Lady on the 7th of October at Keeneland, losing by a head to Gina Romanica. In Italian. Saturday, race 5 is the $1 million PNC Bank Filly and Mare Sprint. It's run at 7 furlongs on the dirt for fillies and mares 3-year-old and up. Post time, 3:50 p.m. Eastern Time. Potential winner is Echo Zulu. She's a gun runner filly out of Let Go My Echo by Menifee. Jockeyed by Florent Giroux, trained by Steve Asmussen. Is the 2021 Eclipse Award champion 2-year-old filly. Won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly in that year and finished second in this race last year. Is 3 for 3 in 2023, winning the winning colors at Churchill Downs in May. In July, won the Honorable Miss at Saratoga, and also won at Saratoga the Grade 1 Ballerina. Echo Zulu. Race 6 is the $2 million FanDuel Mile, run at 1 mile on the turf for open company 3-year-old and up. Post time, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Our potential winner here is Japanese runner Songline. She's a Kazuna mare out of Luminous Parade by Simbali Chris. Jockeyed Keita Tozaki and trained by Toru Hayashi. Has won 2 Grade 1s this year, the Victoria Mile and the Yashuda Keenan. Heavy Japan contingent should be on their way to Santa Anita for the Breeders' Cup, including Derma Sotogake, who run in the Kentucky Derby this year. Songline. Race 7 is the $2 million Longines Distaff, run at 1 1/8 miles on the dirt for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up. Post time, 5:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Potential winner here is Idiomatic. She's a Curlin filly out of Lockdown by First Defense. Jockey Florent Giroux would be on board and trained by Brad Cox. Idiomatic's won her last 4 races, including the Personal Ensign Grade 1 at Saratoga in August, and most recently on October 8th won the Judamont Spinster at Keeneland. Idiomatic. Race 8 is the $4 million Longines Turf. It's run at 1 1/2 miles on the turf for 3-year-olds and up, open company. 5:50 p.m. Eastern Time is the post. For our potential winner of the Longines Turf, we got Warlike Goddess. She's an English Channel mare out of Misty North by North Light. Jockeyed by Junior Alvarado, trained by William Mott. Warlike Goddess is taking on the boys and beat the boys last out on October 7th in the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic at Belmont at the Big A. Lord like Goddess. Race 9 is the big one. The $6 million Longines Breeders' Cup Classic. It's run at 1 1/4 mile on the dirt for 3-year-olds and up in open company. It will be on NBC at 6:40 p.m. Eastern Time. For our Breeders' Cup Classic winner, we've got Arcangelo. He's an arrogant Ridgeling out of Modeling by Tappet. Jockeyed by Javier Castellano, trained by Jenna Antonucci. Arcangelo's won his last 4 races, including in June, the Belmont Stakes, and then in August, won the Travers Grade 1 at Saratoga. Winner Arcangelo. In race 10 is the $1 million Turf Sprint. It's run at 5 furlongs on the turf for 3-year-olds and up, open company. 7:25 Eastern Time is the post. Potential winner of the Turf Sprint is defending champion Caravel. She's a Mizzy masked mare out of ZZ Zoom Zoom by Congrats. Jockey Tyler Gaffleone goes for Brad Cox. Won the Jaipur Stakes in June and won the Shakertown in Keeneland in April. Caravel defends in the Turf Sprint. And the last of the Breeders' Cup races is race 11, the Qatar Racing Sprint. $2 million, 6 furlongs on the dirt for 3-year-old open company. Post time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And our finder at the Breeders' Cup is Elite Power. He's a curlin' horse out of Broadway's Alibi by Vindication. Superstar jockey Irad Ortiz is on board with trainer Bill Mott. Elite Power is the 2022 Eclipse Award champion male sprinter and won this race last year. He's 4 out of his last 5 and had a minor slip up at the Forgo Stakes at Saratoga in August, but had won the Alfred G. Vanderbilt Handicap and the True North Stakes out of Belmont, and also won in the King Abdulaziz race course in February in a Group 3 in a sprint presentation in the Riyadh Dirt. Elite Power! All right, everybody, enjoy the 2023 Breeders' Cup out of Santa Anita on November 3rd and November 4th. Watch for videos coming up about the Breeders' Cup Classic, and we'll have super selections for both race days. Enjoy!